What's going on, everybody? It's Dot Bets checking back in. We got at Teaser Nation with us. Once again, we are going to break down the Players Championship. We did not have a stream last week. Had some renovation being done in the basement. Could not get to a monitor in time, but we are back. It is the Players Championship, like you said, and a lot of people consider it the fifth major. So very, very excited. We have a lot to break down. Teaser, how are we feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good, man. I got kind of a huge. This is one of my favorite tourneys of the year, so I got a huge card. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing with the weather incoming there in Florida, but we'll see. Hopefully it's a little better than last week. We kind of looked good the first 2 days, but then it ended up being a shit show the weekend, having a couple meltdowns there. Shooting in the 80s. So hopefully it's not like that. But
Yeah, that was insane. Insane. The course just dried up. The greens were absolute glass. They couldn't stop anything. And the putts and then Woodland caving at the end in the bunker. Whew, that was hard to watch.
ooh, yeah,
That was tough to
sad
watch.
to see. Yeah.
But as always, if you guys have any questions, make sure throw those in the chat. If you guys are playing DFS, we're gonna give some outrights, some placements, and then we're gonna start this new segment where we're gonna do like the podcast play that we will keep track of, keep the record of. It could be a first round leader, it could be whatever we decide it's going to be, and then we'll keep track of that as the season goes on. So you want to dive into your model here, Teaser, and talk about the course, and just kind of give us a heads up on the weather situation this week.
Yeah, well, I guess a little bit about the course. If the couple people in here don't know, it's almost 7,200 yards, par 72, Bermuda greens. It's also a Pete Dye course, so it's more of a positional course. You don't need driver. Bryson was more of the outlier last year, who kind of played well, but you don't need a bomb it here. You kind of just set yourself up in the fairway. A lot of water hazards around. Yeah, and it's kind of visually intimidating off the tees. That's kind of how he sets up most of his courses. So there's that. The weather is another thing. I'm just looking at the weather now. It looks like Thursday. It's literally supposed to rain Thursday through Saturday the whole day. So I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, maybe they push it back a couple days. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. It makes it a little more scary to bet. But yeah, getting into the model, I looked at this week. Obviously, strokes gain approach is going to be a big thing at this course since there's a lot of water around the greens areas. Obviously, strokes gain ball striking. And then one key stat I think I liked the most was bogey avoidance. It's always good to look at that, like obviously at the Honda and the Arnold Palmer where there's a lot of water. You kind of want to see guys who are staying away from the big numbers, like a triple, double bogey. Obviously, sometimes you can't really account for that. They can do it one time and really ruin their rest of their day. But I kind of like looking at that with a lot of water hazards. But so I'll get to my outrights. Here now, I'm playing 6 this week, all obviously for small. I am going to start my card with John Rahm at 14-1. This is the best number we will probably see on him all year. Yeah, so I mean, just a little bit. Obviously, everyone knows the narrative right now. Is it the green books getting rid of that's making Rahm putt like shit? So he's lost 4 strokes on putting the last 3 events. So I mean, you can't. I just got to take that number with his approachability and off the tee. So I'm going to start with him. Another value play I'm looking at this week is Patrick Cantlay. I got him at 25-1. I think most books you can get him at 20 now, which I probably still would take. But with Cantlay, obviously I think he's probably a top 3 play in the world right now. He comes off kind of a bad week for him at the Genesis at 33, but I mean, he's been on an insane run before that with a 2nd, 4th, 9th, 4th, and 2 firsts in a row. So I think he's going to bounce back this week. Hopefully the East Coast doesn't come back to on him because he never usually likes playing there. But that's one more guy I'm looking at. I will also be betting Cam Smith at 30-1. I think that's another good number on him. He played decent at the Genesis last time out. He gained 3 strokes on approach. Obviously, he won the Century this year, so I think he fits well with the windy narrative coming in as well. Um, and then to get to my last three here, this play right here obviously is just a value play. I'm always going to take this number on this guy. He's been my favorite player since I was a kid. Dustin Johnson at 40 to 1. You just can't pass up that number. It's Dustin Johnson. I don't care.
You don't care where
He's
he
playing
ranks.
like shit. Right. Um, yeah, so it's just I know recent form obviously he's been really bad, but I have to take that number. I'm obviously playing it for small, but I have to take that. Yeah, he's not even ranked bad on. It's just
Middle of the pack right here.
you
Yeah.
know with him he's really a mystery where his head's at. I think with him, if he really wants to get up for this, but um, last two I'm gonna go Brooks Koepka at 45 to 1, another great number I thought. Now it's down to 35, so I beat that one. He's actually people think he's had a really bad season, but it's been up and down. But he hasn't been playing that bad. He's got a third at Phoenix Open and a 16th at the Honda, which was a tough track. He also gained 4 strokes on approach that week, so I think that's gonna get him into shape this week. And then lastly, I'm gonna go with Shane Lowry. I'm not even gonna say a European who's good in windy conditions because that's what everyone says. I just like how he played at the Honda. Strokes gained approach, he almost gained 7 on approach, so he hit it really well there. And I was reading a stat the other day just to finish up on this. I think there's a thing out there. The winner was top 20 the year before, and he's been insanely good strokes gain approach the week before the Players. So I was kind of narrowing that down. A couple of guys who fit that bill is Berger, Cam Smith, and Shane Lowry. So that's kind of why I'm targeting them as well this week. So yeah, just a little side note there, but you can go ahead with your outrights.
Yeah,
if you want.
no, you nailed. I'm not taking Lowry as an outright, but Lowry for DFS when we get to that, he's going to be heavily owned by me. You wouldn't think he plays pretty well in crazy conditions because he shit the bed on 18 when it was pissing down rain, but
Yeah, that's a
that
different
was
story.
that was a
but-
little insane. I don't know why he rushed. I don't know what the hell he was doing there. I had a Lowry outright ticket there, so I was pissed about that. But to each their own. But I do like Lowry this week. I think he's just too cheap on the DFS landscape. He is $8,000. He's a way to go get some leverage. Not leverage on the field, but to get a little bit more high-owned guys in your lineup. But 2 outrights I'll give out on the stream. Matthew Fitzpatrick at plus 4,000. Like him a lot this week. I think he is also too damn cheap in DFS land, and I think he's got obviously betting it, but I really do think he has got the ability to win this thing. He's usually up in the top 20 in this particular event, so I like for him to take that next step, get that outright win. And then I'm going to go with the one, I think we've mentioned him every single stream at least 10 times. We're going to go Sung Jae.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to him. It's just a good number. I think it's just value. And if he ends up hitting it, I'm good with it. But, I mean, I'm putting 0.2 units on these. He's plus 5,000. I'm going to go back to Sung Jae. He's played a lot this season. And I'm just going to go back to the well here. I think he can strike the ball well enough to move it into these greens. And like for Fitzpatrick and him to do some outright. I'll have one more when I tweet it out. I have not decided if I want to go a little bit more conservative or not. But those are my two long shot outrights there.
Right.
Do you have any first round leaders that you want to give out?
Yeah, so I mean, another thing on the outrights, I think for me this week, it's all about the value just for people, kind of anyone in here just trying to learn how to golf bet. There's always, just like you said, taking Sung J M, you're never going to see him at 50 to 1 ever again unless it's the Players. Obviously, it's a stacked field, but you're always going to take that number. So there's areas where, obviously he may not win. There's a high chance, obviously, he's not going to win, but it's such a solid number. Sometimes you just have to take it, but I think one guy I'm looking at for a first round leader, I'm probably going to go towards Cam Smith.
Yep.
Yeah, at 40 to 1,
Yeah.
I believe, right
Yep.
there. Yeah. He's known for going low. I mean, that's what he does. First round, he's always there in the mix. Obviously, with the weather, I think he tees off in the morning, which may be a disadvantage tomorrow because I think there's more wind, which is opposite usually, but I think there's going to be more rain maybe or wind in the morning. So we'll see if they even get the round in. But yeah, I like 40 to 1 on him. I think he can go low tomorrow and kind of set the tone for the week. So that's my guy. How about you?
My crazy one that I'm going to give out here is going to be Corey Connors at 65 to 1. If his putter is on, he has a chance to take this dang thing down. So I'm just going to say he has a good first round and then shits himself down in the rest of the rounds. But he is the guy that I'd probably take a swig on for the first round leader there. I was thinking about Lowry. I think Lowry might climb the leaderboard a little bit more. I think Connors has the ability to just shoot a low number quick and then kind of fade towards the end.
Yeah, and he actually, like, obviously he still couldn't make a putt last week. I'm kind of pissed about it because he was in contention. But, slowly I was looking at like a rolling report on Fantasy National today. But over time, he hasn't been himself the past couple rounds. But like last week, he started to get his ball striking back a little bit, albeit the one he topped in the water on the par 5, if you saw that. But he's getting back to normal. So I do like that play that you just put out there. But
that's good there. And then what we can do is we can do the podcast play, and then I'll tweet out tweet out my top 20 and my top 40, and then Teaser will have his matchups that he's going to put out as well. So make sure you guys follow him at Teaser Nation on Twitter, and then we will transition to DFS where we'll dive in a little bit more. And then obviously, if you guys have any other questions, let us know in the chat who you guys are on, who you guys are contemplating playing, contemplating betting. So just let us know. But no, if you want to roll into the podcast play of the week.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we're kind of on a heater with it. I know we didn't have a podcast last week, but I think you and I both loved the top 40 Corey Connors, so that definitely hit.
That was
pretty easy, even though pretty easy on that one. Hit. Then I think the week before we had another one. I forgot what it was, but we hit that as well. So we're on a roll with it. But mine this week is going to be Brian Harman top 40 at plus 170. I think you get him at plus 160 still.
Brian Harman, you said?
But yeah. Let's just kind of go.
You said top 40?
Yeah, top 40.
Plus
top
160.
40. Yep. So if you kind of look at his recent history, he hasn't been great. Miscut at the Honda. He had a 14th at Phoenix. Pebble Beach, not great. Amex, he came in third. So he's kind of been the key thing with Brian Harman. Obviously, the last two players came in third and eighth, and another eighth another year. But he's a Pete Dye course type of guy. I think it really fits his game. He's not very long off the tee. He can kind of position himself. I think he likes those sight lines. He's not. I think it really fits his game. The lefties fit Augusta for the Masters. I think this course kind of fits lefties as well. So I do like. Obviously, it's just a top 40. I like the value on it this week. So that's the play of the week. And then, I guess I'll give out a couple top 20s if anyone wants those. I'm just gonna roll top 20. Yeah, it's top 20. I'm just gonna go 4. I had like 8 in mind, but I had to narrow it down somehow. I'm just gonna go Sung Jae at 2 to 1, Daniel Berger plus 180, Fitzpatrick plus 180, and Shane Lowry as we touched on. So that's plus 200 as well. So yeah, my card will be out obviously, but those are a couple plays I'm going for. And then my tourney matchups I won't touch on because I have a lot of those.
You'll put them out.
Put them out later.
He's been it's been on fire with those matchups there. But yeah, one thing just with the weather. It's going to be a little bit more damp out there. Accuracy is going to play more of a key, I think, than driving distance. So get those ball strikers in your lineup. Make sure you have guys that, like I said, strokes gain on approach is probably the number one attribute as featured here in Teaser's model. And just by sorting of that, you got Berger, Morikawa, Casey, Henley, Hovland, Zalatoris, Lowry, Knox, Rahm. So, I mean, I could see one of these guys obviously winning this thing. The way that they...
The amount of times I've seen Morikawa this week is insane.
So,
Seeing him
Yeah,
everywhere.
and that's my other outright that I'm contemplating is if I want to play the 14-1 odds or maybe see where he's at live and take him something like that. But he screams this course just with his ball striking approach. He should
Yeah.
be top 10 at least. So you know, he's definitely a quality DFS play, someone you can kind of build around if you want to. But you know, this is going to be where I make my decisions for who would be in a lineup and who wouldn't be. So ownership, and then see how strokes gained on approach turns out. Then that's the cut line for me. So transitioning into DFS, my top two guys that I will build around is going to be Morikawa, or top three: Morikawa, Rahm, and then we got Fitzpatrick. So those three guys, I will go around. I told you guys I'm going to have a lot of Lowry in DFS. I'm not going to build around him, but he's just going to be somebody that I throw in. So he might be like the second tier guy that I have. But those three, Rahm, Fitzpatrick, and Morikawa, those are going to be kind of like the building blocks where they're going to be in pretty much damn near every one of them. And if you can't fit Rahm and Morikawa in one, you're going to substitute one for the other, and then kind of just pivot off one another. But this is sorted right now. This is Fantasy Labs, sorted with projection owned. So Berger, Fitzpatrick, Morikawa, this is 20 plus category. Then you're going Koepka, Rahm, Matsuyama, Thomas, who won it last year, Scott, Sungjae Im, Lowry. So then you get to those single digits. That's when you're going to see a lot of value here, down here. So is there anybody down in the single digits that you're targeting this week in DFS?
Yeah, I would probably say, I mean, we kind of talked about it before the stream. I was looking at Jason Day, maybe.
Let's see where he's at.
Um,
He is projected 4% owned.
so that's one guy. I don't know how. Obviously, we know his mom just died like a week ago, so I don't know how that's going to affect him. But he's like one of my sleepers this week at 90-1 as well. So I don't. He's actually been trending in the right direction. So we'll see. That's probably more of on the risky side of it. How about Cam Young? What's he at projection wise?
He is at, just saw him. He's projected 7%. This is your boy. This is your guy right here.
It's literally, dude. We're always on him. Like he's only 7.2.
He's
So
been
like
top 20 in his
on
last
now.
3 events.
Come on now, to start at 7,200, you're gonna get I think so he's one of my top 40s as well. I think the worst you're gonna get is a top 40 out of him, to be honest with you. So that's one of your bottom guys you can rely on at 7,200. I love it. We also talked about it before the stream. You like Keegan Bradley. I think that's another top 40 guy you can get at the bottom of your lineup. So there's some really good guys down there you can kind of, start your lineup with and then get the big boys after. But yeah, I would say Cam Young, and I do agree with Keegan Bradley with you on that, as long as he can make some putts. But
yeah, the curves for Keegan Bradley are not the greatest, but no, yeah, Cam Young, absolutely, he's been on a tear. If you've been playing DFS, you've been tuning into these podcasts, we've been all over him. I know he had that one week where it was 8,600, and it was too much of a spike where I didn't recommend him, but you could play him if you wanted to. Obviously, he has not shot above top 40 this entire season, so absolutely incredible run. I would bet that continues. Obviously, teaser is on him as well. But no, Bradley is a great low-owned guy here at 3%. And then the other guy that I like, I was on his top 40 last week. I'm going to go back to him this week in DFS, especially, is Thomas Pieters. He's 6,300. He's going to be incredibly low-owned. He's going to be less than 4%. And he got 32nd last week. He opens up a lot. So if you want to put a Rahm and you want to put a Morikawa together, you throw Pieters in there. That gives that lineup a shot to be something there. So just make sure you guys are watching ownership. You want to make sure you guys have some guys in the mid tier, some guys that are low owned, and then you have maybe a couple guys that are 20 plus, maybe 15 plus or more. So that's where you get a little bit different from the field if you go that kind of lineup configuration. But yeah.
Oh, I forgot too. I forgot about where was Fitzpatrick owned? He was high,
he's
right?
really high. He's 20. He's the second guy, but he's 7,700. Like
Okay,
he's so mispriced. He's definitely gonna be in there for me. But I mean, he's just so mispriced.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's 7. That's weird. I mean, so you probably want to stay away from him then, obviously, because he's gonna be.
I'm surprised he's not the most. But Berger, obviously, everybody likes Berger a lot more. But
I think he's missing. He's only 8,800 too, so that's a little low.
I mean, this is Fitzpatrick. His last 3 starts: 6th, 10th, and 9th. Like
insane,
and his salary went from 92, 87 to 92, and then now he's 77. So, that speaks for the quality of the players that are playing in this tournament. So I could see some type of reasoning from DraftKings, but my goodness, he should not be 77. I thought he'd be mid eights to 83 to 85.
I agree.
77 mispriced. That's why you're going to see ownership. So if you're playing cash games, definitely put him in. And if you are playing high risk GPP with a bunch of guys, make sure you have somebody that's low owned, so it makes your lineup a little bit unique. So maybe like a Peters, a Bradley, a Cam Young, something like that. So since we're talking about sleepers, we'll end the show with, if we don't have other questions, we'll give our fades of the week, or our fade of the week, and then we'll wrap up with closing thoughts. So who is your fade of the week, Teaser?
Yeah, my fade, it's going to be probably Victor Hovland, I would say.
Victor, man.
Yeah, so I don't know why, honestly, I'm fading him. I think, so my take on the Arnold Palmer was, I don't want to fade Rory because obviously I was on him last week, but usually I fade him. It hasn't been working out recently. I just think Victor Hovland's going to be drained. He had the win in kind of really his hands last week. I think he's just going to be mentally drained, from that week. So we'll see. I think he always loves to find water, too. I'm actually surprised he really didn't at Arnold, at the Arnold Palmer. So I think he finds the water a couple times this week. I'm going to go on a limb and say he missed the cut. He misses the cut this week.
What the hell is that at? I'm going to look right now. Make/miss
yeah.
cut. Miss the cut. Hovland, where you at? Plus 250. Hey, that's what we got Brooks at. A couple, probably 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah,
like plus 230.
Yeah, I think we got Brooks at Genesis. Yep. Yeah.
Wow, plus 250.
Yeah, so
the bold play of the podcast.
Yeah. It's bold. I think yours is going to be more bold, but yeah.
I think mine's stupid, not bold. If this hits, I've predicted the future. But so my fade of the week. I don't even know why I'm saying this. Where it could be recorded, but I'm gonna fade Patrick Cantlay. I'm not gonna say he's missing the cut, but I'm saying from a DFS perspective, a betting perspective, I'm nowhere near him this week. So, what's his price? I mean, he's 9,900. He's going to be the 4th highest owned player. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm pivoting somewhere else. I'm just off Cantlay. East Coast Cantlay, I stay away from. West Coast, unbelievable. You can see right here the track record: 4th, 9th, 4th, 2nd, 33rd. That's insane. Absolutely insane. East Coast Cantlay, I'm off. I'm going to fade him. Plain and simple. That's the only reason why. Because you can't argue anything else.
Yeah. No, I think it's kind of true. I think there's two things to Cantlay this week. You're only taking him outright if you got the 25-1, and then you're just going to stay away from him if you're not getting that. So I think it's valid, honestly, that you're doing that. So
and you're on Brooks Koepka, right? You like him a lot this week, or
I do. I got him 45-1. I was tempted to take his top 20, but I didn't pull the trigger.
He'll be in my DK player pool. He's 8,600. You're not going to see that very often, but he has the ability to miss some cuts. We've seen that. If he follows the same trend he's going to miss the cut this week, but I don't think he will. He gets up for these big tournaments, and he should be up there. Doesn't mind playing in bad conditions. Doesn't mind anything. He's probably one of the most mentally tough guys on the tour. Just when he wants to be. When he wants to, basically. If he doesn't want to be, he's just going to coast and say, "Get out of here." But he's when he wants to play, he's tough to beat. So I can't complain there. 8,600, just going to come with some ownership. So yeah, we've given you.
His game's definitely trending.
Let me show you guys the buzz feature of this as well. So if you see a bunch of buzz around somebody, that means like that's how many times they've been like mentioned around the web, and there's so many of them. Like buzz right here, like out of 10. So Koepka's a 10. So he's gotten a lot of buzz this week. Berger. I'm surprised Morikawa is not the top guy here because I see him everywhere. But Koepka, I've seen this a couple times with 10s, and then there's 8s. So 5. Rahm's up there with 4. So that's where a lot of people go with that. So then it kind of sees, how much people are searching them, how many people have wrote about them, stuff like that. So it's a cool little feature there. If you want to just fade somebody that you think is going to be pretty well low owned, go with somebody with a little bit low buzz score. So, but yeah, we've given you guys some outrights. We've given you guys some placements, some first round leaders, and the podcast play of the day or play of the week is Brian Harman, top 40 plus 160. And then we give you guys our DFS rundown. So let us know if you guys have any other questions. Feel free to join the free Discord at the top of the Twitch channel or my link tree on Twitter. Free to join. We got close to about 600 members right now. Pretty crazy. It's popping it. I mean, it doesn't stop talking the entire day. So, any closing thoughts, Teaser?
You gotta throw in your sleeper real quick. We gotta throw in one sleeper for it.
Sleeper. So, we're talking about guy that is low owned that's going to go off.
Yeah, or even as high odds, like, probably, not 80, above odds type thing.
You got one in mind? Let me think about
it. Yeah, I kind of already touched on him. I'm going to go with Jason Day just because of the recent form, 80-1. I don't even hate if you took him top 40, I don't even hate that or like anyone placing him. So yeah, I think he's a sleeper this week. I'm going to go with Jason Day. Yeah, that's my guy.
Oh man, something's telling me right now it should be Seamus Power, but I like he's just like he's like my guy. That like if I've been on him, like it's like if you faded Cameron Young. I've been on Seamus like this entire season, so he's just going to be one guy that I throw in the player pool and hope to God that he goes up. So I'm gonna go Seamus. Why not? Just keep the
yeah. We always have the sweet spot for that one guy.
Seamus is that guy.
Seamus is definitely your guy.
Even though he's missed the cut 3 straight times, but who cares? No,
that's bad.
Yeah, that's not ideal. But I still have a sweet spot in my heart. No idea why. All right, so we gave you guys some options. If you guys want to go place those bets, let us know. Join the Discord. We will be back next week, same time, same place. We hope to see you guys there, and appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys.
Cool. See ya.